Submit spirit before matter. Our celestial humanity arrives, awake in a dream, an inception of our reality. So we live, we love, and then there is music. So we dance, we sing, we praise, we reflect. In the infinite in between, the now that was, faces dance in our dreams. Some familiar, some
a single vision radio.
Cosmic composition. In the irrelevance of this time, we realize the passion of the random abstraction, learning the lesson that the brotherhood of man is far more important than the ego of any individual. Imagination becomes the sound of thought, traveling at the speed of art. So we paint on the canvas of our ephemeral encounters, a masterpiece of memory that lives in the eternity of a child's. Good evening. Keeping with the theme, I know I said I was going to be my last one, but I had a few more things to say, get off my chest about what I've experienced as far as knowledge. I made a statement along the lines of monstrosity, and it was I shouldn't have said it like that, because I was just being in my attitude and against something that I may disagree with, but it didn't give me the right to attack it like that, you know. And I want to talk to that community, those, I'll call it like this, those living gracefully, being totally qualified for happiness. And what I mean by that is, you know, you have to live your lifestyle, the alternative lifestyle, in a healthy manner. Find out all the healthy ways to practice what you do. You know, the Judeo-Christian society may not accept you because of their texts and their beliefs and whatnot, but the African spirituality and African spiritual system and African traditional African spirituality deals with everything, and so no one is left out. So it's not a matter of fire and brimstone coming down on you for how you live your life and who you lay down with. You know, it's, you know, the traditional African spirituality deals with everything. And I would suggest a book that kind of delves a little bit into the understanding of it all. And that's a book by a man named Malidoma Some. And it's called Of Water in the Spirit. Of Water in the Spirit by Malidoma Some. It's a good book. Talks about rites of passage and a lot of other different things within the African, traditional African spirituality systems. When I talk about happiness, I'm talking about health, acceptance, polarity, productivity, intelligence, normalcy, equality, spirituality, and solidarity. Health, like I said, you know, practice healthy practices with your reality. Acceptance. If you don't accept, if nobody else accepts what and who you are, you have to accept yourself. And don't let nobody beat you up, or don't beat yourself up for what you are, if that's what you're going to be. Now, if you're conflicted, you need to get counseling and treatment and whatnot and what have you. And if you're in total acceptance of what and who you are, then so be it. And don't worry about who does and doesn't accept you. Just live your life and enjoy life. Polarity. When you're in an alternative relationship, somebody has to be the yin and somebody has to be the yang. Else you're always going to have a balance, an imbalance. You're always going to have an imbalance. So when you live in that life, polarity is key. Knowing where you are in your own mind, and those roles, even for hetero relationships, polarity is critical, because you have to know when you're yin and when you're yang. There's yin and yang in both when you're dealing with yin and yang. But we don't have to necessarily come from the chromosome unless we're talking about dealing with reproduction and dealing with alternative lifestyles, dealing with adoption and all that stuff. You have to come to grips with accepting that and getting people to accept that if that's what you want to do. That's not like I say, it's a complex thing. Whether or not I agree with it or not, it's happening. So it don't matter what I agree or don't agree with. For me, I don't agree with, so I don't have to practice it. So that's the bottom line on that, and leave it at that. And I don't have to beat up on nobody else about how they live in their life or whatever, what have you. That's their life, and they live in their life, and we don't have to go back and forth about it. Just have to accept one another for who they are and how they live, and just deal with that. Productivity. Find your purpose. I know that, one thing I know about the LGBTQ community is they are some of the most compassionate and kind and loving human beings on the planet. Now, whether or not I agree with their sexuality or whatnot, and that doesn't matter, because, one thing I've learned is that, if a person has kindness, compassion, and love, and truthfulness, and honor, and all these things, a lot of people that quote unquote say they, straight, got a lot of problems with that. They're very abusive. Well, now that happens to both sides, but normal people may be a lot abusive, and a lot of the reason why a lot of people go to the alternative lifestyles because of abuse or mistreatment or whatever, what have you. But I think what it is with me and my experience, because of history in my childhood, I think I'm very angry about what happened because I wasn't driving, and looking back in hindsight at the whole process of what happened, I wasn't driving, and when I woke up from the experience, I look back at it and I'm like, wow, that was deep, but I can't change it. I leave it as it is, and I learn from it, and you still have to be productive in life, productive and produce, and I've noticed that most living gracefully, being totally qualified for happiness, are living their best life. They're being productive in society. They're contributing to society and the well-being of others. And they care for elders and children and all kind of stuff. It's a lot of stuff they doing that a lot of people, quote unquote, normal, have a problem with doing without finding some kind of monetary gain behind it or some kind of scam or something. So that's what I have to say about productivity. You just gotta be productive. Intelligence. Always be willing to learn something new. Always be willing to learn something new and expand your horizons. Always be willing to learn something new and expand your horizons. Because a person that's intelligent has the ability to continue to learn. And don't ever think that you know it all. I know I don't know it all, but I do know everything I know. Put it like that. And so that's what I have to say about that. Be intelligent, be willing to learn, and receptive to new things and learning. Normalcy. Once you get through the shock of the hour about coming out or whatever you do, to let people know who you are, or if you stay in the closet or whatever, once you do that, you find some sense of normalcy where you can function and contribute to society and your family in a healthy manner, in a way that is acceptable to you and them. If you don't want to try to force something on somebody else and force your ideas on somebody else, it's like you don't want them to force their ideas and lifestyles and ways on you. So you gotta be yourself and accept yourself. Equality. The world is answering the call to bring equality for those who want to live that kind of lifestyle and whatnot. So you're making progress, but realize the progress you made, a lot of other people, especially the black struggle, is still trying to gain progress and gain ground on their struggle. So don't just think your struggle is the end of it all, especially if you're a black person. If you're a black person and you gain ground through those living gracefully, being totally qualified for happiness, then you need to share that kind of power and work on that with the regular black struggle, with those with regular families or hetero families, to help them meet the goal of overcoming the oppression the same way. So your mission is a gatekeeper, really, to open the gate for progress and success for others in whatever endeavors and fields that you're in. The black struggle, the women's liberation struggle, children equality and children, fair treatment and practice and protection, women, fair treatment, practice and protection, elder, fair treatment, practice and protection, and whatever, what have you. Spirituality. Now, like I said, the Judeo-Christian society may not accept you, as they say, because of what they interpret in the scriptures and whatnot. As like it says, God hates the practice, but he didn't say he hated you. Because he hates the practice because his practice, his foundation was a man and a woman, be fruitful and multiply. And going against that made him angry because it wasn't his the way he set out destiny for humanity. But now that it's here, and as you can see, he's allowing it to exist and advance like it is now. I mean, you could say this is not his world, and which in a lot of likes it's not, and a lot of people say it's the devil's world or whatever, what have you. They've been saying that for years, and it actually is until the righteous take over, and the righteous have to take over of all walks of life. So, and I petition the All-Father to give everybody their own universe, so they won't have to be crowded on each other, to be forced to do what somebody else says all the time. I believe that everybody deserves their own universe so that they can express themselves fully in the full expanse of their divinity, to be benevolent to those they want in their realm. Solidarity. You have to be together, and I've learned about those living gracefully, being totally qualified for happiness, is that they have solidarity that's stronger than a lot of the solidarity that black people have. Matter of fact, they're leading in the solidarity of the black struggle, because they out front. We may not like it because we're like, hey, we want to have babies, we want to have families, this and that and other. But, they're out as gatekeepers and vanguard of fighting for the struggle for our people. I think back to James Baldwin, for an example, and how he was fighting, for the struggle and whatnot. And so, it's a lot of things, and that's all I have to say about that. But, that's my new acronym for you all if you want to adopt it. Those living gracefully, being totally qualified for happiness. Peace. I just wanted to petition the LGBTQ community to put a S on the end of your acronym, your identification for survivors of rape, incest, molestation, stuff like that. So it'll be LGBTQS. Also, those that are survivors that are not necessarily gay or lesbian or queer or transgender, but survivors that are straight, but they've been victimized, And so that's what I always wanted to do, is put an S on there for survivors, and whatever, what have you. So that's all I would petition for you all to do.